5 years. We have to put the old history of what Brazil have to one side because they play a different brand of football. It's very pragmatic. They make changes now, and we called it at half-time, and not to give ourselves a pat on the back too much, but it looked like a very simple game plan. Move from left to right, take your players on 1v1, but most importantly, put crosses in the box, make these Japanese defenders defend. And as soon as they did that, the goals came. Vinicius, as soon as they scored the goal, by the way, everyone then wanted the ball. So you just have to start saying, was there a pressure element there as well? Because Vinicius Jr., we never seen him until about the 60th minute. And as soon as we see him, he's nutmegging, he's going because he's trying to get the crowd up now because it's 1-1 and he feels he can be the hero. Ultimately, ended up being Martinelli. But it was a good game. Thought Japan held themselves well, and they'll be thinking, this will be the World Cup of what if for Japan. What if our players weren't injured and were fully fit? What if we was able to really have a strong depth squad to take this Brazil side on? Because Brazil looked average for today for a large parts of it.
I think, Nigel, Brazil knew that Japan were going to play quite defensive in the second half. In the end, that proved to be the way. They were going to try and hold on to a 1-0 win all the way through to the end. And Brazil ultimately, especially once they got the first goal, were able to find those gaps in the second half that they couldn't in the first half.
Yeah, it's just to really add to what Troy said. He's right. They played with a lot more confidence in the second half. But from a nation like Brazil, that same confidence is what they should have started with in the first half. And you do wonder if there's an element of pressure now starting to build up, and really are these players embracing the pressure or starting to really feel the pressure? Because the confidence they played with the second half is what we expect from Brazil in every single game, regardless of the opponents. But you don't want to take nothing away from Japan. I think Japan were fantastic in what they did. I don't question their approach. I think their approach was great because they're playing to the strengths that they have of the players that they have available. And if this was a Japan side with Matoma available and Endo available, I would say that just to the performance we saw from Brazil, I would have favoured Japan to go through if they had those quality players available. And for Japan now to make that kick to that next step, they need a few more Matomas, a few more players in the attacking sense that can take that game to the next level and get that goal and that real super threat, because that's all they were lacking. Brazil grew in confidence. They started to grind them down. They moved the ball quicker. They were doing the switch of play quicker and putting a lot more crosses in the box and creating chaos. And as much as you want to be defensively organised, you don't want to defend for 90 minutes. I don't care how good a defender you are. You do not want to defend for 90 minutes. There's times in the game where you want to rest with the ball. You're going to want to be brave on the ball and play and you know, slow it down a bit. It's not fun to defend for 90 minutes, no matter what level you play at.
Cello, how close to, considering the squad they've got and the players they have on the pitch and then on the subs, how close to the top level was this for Brazil? You're still a long way off?
No, listen, I think every team, when you get to this point, they feel the pressure, okay? No matter who you are, you have that pressure. Brazil has the pressure to win the World Cup. And so they came out a little nervous. They came out a little tentative, which is normal in a game like this. But I would think they're pretty close to putting their best team out. I mean, the second half, to me, is a team that needs to start. That team came out with energy. They came out with movement. And that's what you want to see from Brazil. The first half of Brazil was almost like feeling, you know, the Japanese out, just trying to see what's going on. They got the goal scored against them. And the second half, I felt like we saw Brazil. A little bit more movement, Vinny going at people one-on-one. They, you know, Martinelli with a great, he's in position, he's in between the center back and the wing back to get the final goal. So I looked at this and I thought this was probably the best 45 minutes I've seen Brazil in this World Cup.
OK, let's get some more insight from Brazil perspective. Speak to former Brazil midfielder Lucas Leiva. Lucas, great to chat to you. As Cello was saying there, obviously the expectation from Brazil, they've done it 5 times before, is to win the World Cup. Did that fill you with positivity, that performance?
Yes, well, the pressure is really high and everybody expects that. I think first half, I agree with you all, what you said. I think it was the ball, they didn't move the ball quick enough. They didn't cross the ball, and it was really difficult to break Japan defense. Second half, they came with a different approach, putting a lot of crosses in, and with Hendrick coming on and Martinelli later on, I think it gave something extra to Brazil. But, you know, I'm really excited. I'm sorry, guys. We scored the last minute goal, and of course, it's a lot of things to be done yet. Still to win the World Cup, but I think second half it was great from Brazil. Didn't concede much, and moved the ball quicker. So and it was clear that they needed to put some more crosses.
Lucas, lovely to see you again and speak to you again, old chap. My question is this. What's the feeling like in Brazil when you talk about for me, I think there's still a lack of creativity in this Brazil side, real creativity from the old foundation of Brazilian football that we've seen. What's the feeling like amongst Brazilians?
Listen, even in Brazil, we talk about, the legends that we have in the game, the Ronaldinhos, the Kaká, and Ronaldos, but this time is gone. We have to accept that. We have to understand that and try to build a team. Of course, we have some very good players. Creativity is something that is missing. It was missing in the first half, especially. It's something that Ancelotti will have to work through because teams will defend deep against Brazil, and they will have to find a way. I think today they adapt. I don't think Brazil is a team that crossed too much in this style that they are playing now, but they had to do it, and it's not ugly to accept, and do different things. And then the goal came from across, the Casemiro equalizer. So. Yeah, I think Brazil needs more creativity, but needs to find the best way to give, these players to create more, a chance to create more.
Lucas, just thinking back to our conversation last time, there was a little bit of a nervous, not sure of how this tournament would go. Obviously, the pressure to win the World Cup is always there for Brazil. As the games pass and the wins keep coming, are you more and more confident you can make a deep run, or are you still a little bit apprehensive?
I'm a little bit apprehensive, I have to say, especially after the first half. I think Brazil needs to have a full 90 minutes in the highest level, for everyone to believe a little bit more. But listen, it's great to win, especially the way it was. Brazil is growing, like you said, in the second half it was a lot better. And we just hope that they keep growing and winning. But you never know. World Cup, there is, always a little bit of luck as well. And Brazil will need that as well.
Looking at the first half and second half, the way they played, now you get into the next game. Do you look at a few of the players that played in the second half, maybe starting that game? And is he starting his best 11 Brazilians?
I don't think we're going to see too many changes, to be honest. The question will be Lucas Paqueta, if he's injured or he just came out, as a precaution or was a tactical change. I don't see Ancelotti changing a lot. Endrick is always a big debate, should he start or not. But thinking what Ancelotti is doing as well, he's trying to find a balance as well defensively. So I don't see him making so many changes, but you're right. Martinelli and Endrick, they had a great impact on the game. But I still think that Ancelotti will keep that first 11 unless Lucas Paqueta he got some injury. Casemiro came out as well, feeling a little bit. We don't know if it's serious or not. So, but if everybody's fit, I think he will stick with the same starting 11 that it was today.
Lucas, one of the big talking points concerning Brazil coming into the tournament was the lack of an out-and-out striker, a number 9, apart from Igor Thiago, and he didn't play particularly well in the first game, did he, against Morocco? He's obviously had Cunha in that position up until now, and he scored 3 goals, so he's done pretty well. But as they move into the tournament, the further into the knockout stages, is the lack of a proper striker going to hurt them against bigger teams?
Like I said, the times of Ronaldo, Adriano, and Romario are gone. So we need to find a solution. Cunha did pretty well against Scotland today. It was a different game. They were playing really deep, so Cunha didn't find himself on the space that he wanted. I thought Igor Thiago would come on, for the crosses, and Endrick, of course, came on. It's of course, you would want, a proper number 9, but it's not something that we can change now. So we have just to go with what we have, and I think we have enough. They are fantastic players, but they are not Ronaldo, so they have to find a way to not rely on only 1 or 2 players.
Just a quick one, Lucas, just moving this conversation forward. Who would you prefer to see Brazil play with the style of play? Ivory Coast or Norway?
It's a good question. I think Ivory Coast is a very dangerous team. They attack, a lot. I think for Brazil style of play, Ivory Coast would suit more because it would be more an open game. And of course, Norway, they have one of the best striker in the world, if not the best. So I would prefer Ivory Coast, but no disrespect with Ivory Coast. I just think the way they play, the style that would leave a little bit more space for Brazil to attack, and that's because we saw today that how difficult it was to break Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting comment. Great stuff, Lucas.
Yeah,
Thanks so much.
right.
We'll speak to you soon here on Golazo Matchday 48 Nations. What do you think about that?
I think he's right. I think he's
Really?
absolutely right, yeah. He's talking about it tactically. He's talking about like the teams like Brazil, teams like England struggle against teams that sit in a low block and give you a load of the ball.
Yeah.
What he's saying is Ivory Coast, while they are very good, they play one way, which is attacking. We saw in the Germany game, they were very, very good. They were the better team in the Germany game, but just didn't handle the moments because it's still a young team. And they didn't handle those moments. Germany get the 2 goals late. They end up winning the game. So I think tactically what he's saying is correct. He wants to. He wants a team that
But
goes
surely
against
you'd be wary of
I
any team
understand
that's
that,
got
but I
Erling
would
Haaland,
gladly
right?
disagree with that for me. I think you'd want to face a Norway than an Ivory Coast, in my opinion, from what I've seen so far of Norway. I understand the Erling Haaland situation and with Erling Haaland, and now Norway is struggling in that right-back position as well now without a real recognised right-back. You talk about Odegaard. I think Ivory Coast are a way more dangerous opponent for Brazil, and especially Brazil.
He's not stating
I understand the
that.
tactical. I'm just saying, no, that's his opinion. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I would just say, for me, I think it would be better for Brazil to face a Norway than it is an Ivory Coast. Because Ivory Coast only lost that Germany game as well because they were
I'm going neutral. I think both teams at this stage of the game are going to be difficult to play against. You've got 2 different tactics. If you want, Ivory Coast could open it up, and with their pace, they could be very dangerous. Defending, not as great as the Japanese, but going forward, they could be a lot more dangerous. On the other hand, when you look at Norway, you're going to see a team that will drop off. They will. We saw it against Senegal. They dropped off. They defended. Haaland dropped into the midfield. Play off Haaland. He holds it up. He brings the midfield. Then they finally attack. So I think both teams will be very difficult. There's not one or the other, and especially if Casemiro's hurt. You're starting to look at injuries now. So I don't see any easy game because you saw how nervous Brazil played today, the first 45. That's the most, I guess, safest I could say I've seen them play in a while, not taking risks. The second half, it opened up more. So I feel that either one of those teams, they both have abilities that can beat Brazil, and that could be dangerous.
OK, time for a short break here on Golazo Matchday 48 Nations. We've got plenty more coming up for you in a couple of minutes. We'll see you then.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion!
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money. What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Golazo Matchday. 48 nations in the first match of day 15 at the World Cup. Brazil came back to beat Japan to take their spot in the round of 16. Gabriel Martinelli scoring the last minute winner. Cello, we focused more so far on Brazil's performance. What about Japan? They've obviously had a good World Cup so far. I think they've captured the attention of a lot of people who didn't necessarily expect them to do that much. One of those dangerous dark horse teams. How frustrated will they be? They had this game. They scored the first goal. They were winning, and they've gone out in recent World Cups in this kind of fashion. They've never won a knockout game. How frustrated will their fans be?
I think they're frustrated only because they have a good group, and if they had the 4 players, I think this team could have beat Brazil today. But I think you have to look at, just at the end, when Casemiro goes down, they pan out, and you see all the Japanese players with their hands on the knees. That's the kind of effort they had to give today, and they almost pulled it off. So I think they should be very proud of what they've done and what they did today. They dragged it up until the, 93rd minute, 94th minute. And again, you make a mistake defensively against a team. Trust me, we made a mistake in 94 against Brazil, and it cost us a 1-0. They made a mistake. They didn't mark Martinelli. He was put in between a great space between the center back and the wing back. He finished it, but they should be very proud of themselves. They've had a very good World Cup, especially when you're missing 4 key players that would have been starters.
Nigel, did they get it wrong in the second half, being quite so defensive and just trying to sit on a 1-0 lead, or is that what you would have done if you were the man?
I would have done the same thing. I don't think that I would have questioned them tactically, because obviously you still know the quality that you're facing in Brazil and the players that they have. I think it's a bit of both. You know, they're frustrated, yes, because they've been there before, and it's about making that next step. It's about the progression aspect of it. But at the same time, it's the reality of you're missing 4 of your best players, and you're talking about 2 of their most influential players in this squad right now. And for a game like this, and I know I've said it before, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but these are the type of games where you need a Matoma. Someone who's got that special thing about him in an attacking sense, who could make things happen for them, score goals, create goals. We know how much of a talented player he is. He would have been a difference maker. He would have still sown that seed of doubt or nervousness in that Brazilian defence, but they didn't have it. They played to the strengths of the players that they had available in that moment. So it's a bit of both. It's a bit of real frustration because we've been there before. We want to show progression. We want to show we can make it to that next step. And they came so close again. But then again, it's a reality check of as poor as Brazil is, they've still got those players. You talk about Martinelli, back foot control, right foot into that far corner. That's what good teams can do with you, even without putting a full 90 minutes performance. They've still got the individual players who can just put the game to bed.
I think as well, Endo is a big miss just because what they didn't have in the second half, and Nigel could talk to this a little bit, you need a midfielder that can control the tempo. So when the games get a little bit out of hand and it becomes a bit of a basketball match, so midfielder that goes, OK, I'll have it, lend it 1 or 2 times, take the sting out of the game. And then also on the flip side, there's a few times they hit on the counter-attack and they just didn't have that quality to then find a final pass. And sometimes that comes from a midfield on the edge of the box, wrapping one into the midfield and then into the forward, and say, look after it. But when you think back to that last goal, they actually turned the ball over themselves again.
Right on the edge of the box.
Right on the edge of the box, they turned it over. So for me, I think that, yes, Matoma is massive for them in terms of ball carrying and outlet, but also Endo, just having that little bit of calm in there. And these are guys that play at the top level in the Premier League. So, you know, this is slight progression. It won't feel like massive progression because remember, before the World Cup, they just beat England in a friendly, which I was at, and they were comfortable. They looked very good. And even I was saying, when I remember speaking to you, Nigel, when I came back, I was like, hey, these could be a dark horse. Yeah. They're very impressive.
There was a lot of feeling in Japan that this was finally the group that would break that duck of never winning a knockout match at a World Cup. We've got some great comments coming in. Do keep them coming in on YouTube. One a few ago that we just showed.
We're blaming the goalkeeper.
OK, well, we'll reflect on that in a second. But before this one said that he feels that this is the most difficult team that Brazil are going to face all the way up until the semis. If you look at the rest of the draw, Cello, and this is, this has happened before to Japan, hasn't it? 2018, losing to Belgium, I think, was a very late goal that got them there. They lost in penalties to Croatia in 2022, and now another late goal. Speaking to that comment, Cello, we've seen some of the other bigger nations. When you look at the round of 32 draw, they've got what you would say on paper is a fairly easy game. Brazil did not have an easy game here. Could that work in Brazil's favour? They've actually had a test going into these later rounds. Would you rather play someone better at this stage?
No, I think you want to keep building.
Right.
You know, I mean, you want to keep building through the World Cup. You don't want a Morocco, Holland. I mean, I wouldn't want that my first round game. You're playing, you know, I mean, you're playing Morocco if you're Holland. So, no, I think it's a good test for Brazil. I think they came through today. The second half, they showed a little bit more of who we want to see, more energy. I think that's what everybody's looking for, a little bit more creativity, more movement, everything you want. So I look at that, and I mean, those are tough teams.
Bad
Japan
beats,
lost to. That's tough when you look at Belgium, Croatia. You lose it, you're lucky in penalties. It's a crapshoot sometimes. But I think you walk out of here, if you're Japan, you're very happy. And if you're Brazil, you see the light at the end of the tunnel because of the fact that 45 minutes, that was good. That was good on behalf of Brazil, knocking it. I love the way they adapted. Like Luke said, they're putting more crosses into the box.
Yeah, and that's what I asked.
This is what you were saying in the
graphics.
first half, wasn't it?
Yeah, and again, you can see the momentum chart at the bottom. Obviously, Brazil being the green, so they had a lot more momentum in the second half. But the big thing for me was the crosses. 28 crosses in the second half. They realised very quickly, and this speaks to Carlo Ancelotti's management. How many managers now are so stuck in their ways and go, right, we've got to build? He understood we're just better physically in the air. We've got bigger players and we've got the quality in the wide area. So let's just keep doing it. They got a little bit of success, and obviously the first goal comes from that, and then they just kept doing it. And that sometimes is the hardest thing. When you're being successful, just to keep doing it. Everyone wants to just play this new way now. I think back to the US's first game in this competition.
Careful.
No, when they did it really well against Paraguay.
Did you hear that? Really well, he said.
I know. Careful.
Really
when the eights were running in behind the fullbacks, and they just kept doing it. And you were like, Paraguay, come on, can you not see this? Adjust.
Yeah.
And Paraguay didn't make the adjustment. And then, obviously, America went on to win that game comfortably. So, you know, they're going home soon, but you got to give them credit.
But that's what the best managers do, though. Now, we talk about football now. We've been in the game for so long. We've got so much experience in reading how a game flows as a player. And for me, you could see what's happening. Sometimes you do have to take the individual moments to say, right, we've got more big physical players. Let's get crosses in the box, because that's something that would be make them very uncomfortable, and something can happen. You don't always have to score the most perfect goal. And to Troy's point that he said earlier as well about a midfielder in Japan, that's what they're lacking in the second half. You look at Brazil, when Casemiro came off, they bring on Fabinho.
Yeah.
And what does he do? Gets on the ball, but he gives it on a different set, where for Brazil, they're chasing that goal and trying to get that winner. So he's increasing the tempo. He gets it, miss that next man out and go straight out wide. You go straight out wide, you can have a more quicker attacking phase. So there's different elements to the type of different midfielders you bring in.
And he had a big impact, didn't he, in the first game against Morocco? They were struggling in that game. He came on and he turned it.
And that's it. And that's what Japan were lacking in the control element of staying in the game.
Cello, we've spoken about, from the Brazil perspective of playing Ivory Coast or Norway, if they were watching that, how were they feeling about a way to maybe get past Brazil?
Oh, Ivory Coast?
Well, either of them.
Oof. Listen, I think that when you look at Brazil, their biggest weakness for me is defensively in transition. They don't defend well in transition. So I think if you're Ivory Coast, you're looking at, okay, how could we, defending is first. Championships when you're defending. But when I look at that, I'm looking, okay, wing play is going to be key. How quick can we get to the wings? How quick can we isolate ourselves one-on-one? So Brazil, if you're looking at Ivory Coast, you got to say to yourself, okay, we got to be careful on counterattacks. We got to be ready in transition because they're going to come at us. We've got to make sure that we've got cover behind each other because one-on-one pace is pretty darn good on Ivory Coast. That's why I have them reaching what?
You were
semis beating England. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Hey, if I know Troy Deeney like I know Troy, I know what Troy's answer is going to be. Troy's answer is going to be, to beat Brazil, you control the midfield. Brazil's weakest area is their midfield. If you control the midfield, you will beat Brazil because all these players at this international level now, you're mostly going to face pace. Don't get me wrong, Vinicius Jr., quick players, great players, no problem. But they don't have a Messi. That's the difference in Brazil. They don't have that real creative element like a Messi. But if you want to beat Brazil, their midfield. You control the game in midfield, you'll beat Brazil. Am I right, Troy?
Is Nige speaking for you or not?
No, he tries to do it every time. But no, half of it's right. Again, with Casemiro going down as well. But I do think you can do that, the midfield's there. But just the biggest part is we haven't actually seen Brazil defensively tested since the Morocco game. The first half of the Morocco game, they looked very average. Morocco could have been 2 or 3 up. Maybe they've tweaked it. But I think to the two players, Norway and Ivory Coast, what's their biggest strength? Pace and power in the forward areas. So now let's see, as it gets a little bit more developed on, you're not got that control in midfield now because potentially losing Casemiro. So you lose that pivot. Fabinho, Wally is fantastic. Obviously, he has been playing in the Saudi League and he's got older, right, over the time. So let's see now. There's a reason why he's not starting. So let's see if he gets into a transitional game, because Vinicius Jr. wants a transitional game. But if I'm Ivory Coast or Norway, I'm saying, OK, let's play.
I don't think there'll be a fair factor from Ivory Coast or Norway. I think that they'll be looking at this Brazil side, like we're being very honest to say as well, is this is not the Brazil of old. Lucas just even said it himself. This is not the Brazil of old. This is a Brazil that is not invincible. We can beat them. So both those nations should go into this game confident and not even looking at themselves.
Is Nigel a spokesperson now? Is that a new thing?
Basically, I think he's just trying to get paid double. So he's talking more. Yeah, all right. He's realised he can get through a segment without messing up Lucas's name.
Pretend someone else's opinion.
There we go.
All right. Time for a short break here on Golazo Match Day 48 Nations. We've got plenty more coming up for you after the break.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, but the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
A crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad would want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Golazo Matchday 48 Nations. This was the scene in Orlando, Florida at the watch party as that winning goal went in. The Brazilian fans there absolutely delighted to see their team, the Seleção, through to the round of 16 at the World Cup. And our man Nico Cantor is right there in Orlando. He was in the crowd enjoying the game. And Nico, just quickly, Nigel just said that apparently you're about, what, 5 minutes away from where he used to live. Does his reputation precede him?
Guys, I was walking through the crowd of Brazilians. They saw the CBS Sports microphone. I said, you work with Nigel Reo-Coker? Oh, good luck, man.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't say, who's Nigel Reo-Coker?
That's a lie, Nico. That's an absolute lie, but it's okay.
No.
I see you got your energy back. That's all I'm happy about.
So how was the game?
They know Nigel. He's not famous. He's infamous.
There we go.
Hey, you got some Scottish fans behind you, it looks like. Tell them Scotland have gone home.
I do. They're everywhere, man. They love to party, and even though they're gone, they want to be with the Brazilians as well, bro.
Talking of love to party, we saw those Brazil fans celebrating when the goal went in. What was the atmosphere like there throughout the game? Were they a little bit worried about after the first half?
Yeah, I think a lot of people suffered throughout the game, and after 90 minutes, this is the release a little bit, you know? Brazil at times didn't look good in the first 45 minutes. Japan looked great. They were controlling at times the match. But then Carlo Ancelotti, like you guys were analyzing before in the previous segment, switched it up and gave Brazil a new lease on life, especially in this game. A new approach, and they ended up winning. Japan, heartbreaking. They have gone, check every single World Cup elimination over the last 3 or 4 World Cups. It has been agonizing defeat. And Brazil has just handed them their newest heartbreaking defeat. And Brazil walks to the next round, and here in Orlando, one of the biggest communities of Brazilians is present, and they are happy that their team has qualified for the next round.
Yeah, Nico, I was just about to ask you that, because I know you're Floridian and you're from down south. Are you surprised at how big the Brazilian community is in Central Florida?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, we always do it, right? There are 2 clubs, Orlando Pride, Orlando City, have a foundation of Brazilians, and who better to explain it, not just a Miamian, but someone who lives in Orlando who is Brazilian. My friend Rafael, muito prazer. How are you? Good.
Nice to meet you.
Talk to me a little bit about the Brazilian community here in Orlando and what all of this means to you.
So we are huge here. We are everywhere. You're gonna find us pretty much everywhere. It's good because even though we're in the U.S., we feel like home. So we don't miss our food, we don't miss our language, we don't miss our people. So it's great living this, you know. World Cup wouldn't be the same.
I mean, if you close your eyes or you just showed somebody a picture of this, you would think you're in Brazil. It feels like the culture here in Brazil is very much alive.
It is. We are a very united community, and we make sure that we have our stuff. We're very proud of ourselves, you know.
And nothing unites Brazilians more than football. And here at the World Cup, watching your team, what does it mean for Brazil to play at this tournament in the United States and have it bring together so many Brazilians?
It is amazing because it doesn't matter where we are, we still have our hearts in Brazil. So we're always going to cheer for our team no matter where we go. I even brought my shirt from Brazil, so we are going to cheer and support our team everywhere, no matter where we go.
Nice. Incredible. Rafaela, listen, one last question from me. Yeah. I imagine you were very young the last time that Brazil won the World Cup in 2002. What would it mean? Maybe we could say you might not even remember it. What would it mean for you and all of your friends and family for Brazil to add a 6th star to that crest?
It would be amazing because now I can watch all the games and cheer and yell. So it would be great to see us win. I would feel so proud.
Muito obrigado. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Woo!
So Brazilians are very happy, guys. The community is very vibrant here. It's happy. It's amazing. You know, it's maybe here in New Jersey, most Brazilians in the United States, at one point today in the watch party, you close your eyes and you just hear the sounds. You thought you were in the middle of Rio.
Nico, is there any worry, though, about, you know, the fact they struggled a bit in the first half, didn't they, to get past Japan, that maybe this team isn't quite as good as what we've seen in previous Brazil sides, that they're going to come undone against a slightly better team?
Yeah, I do think you saw a little bit of that. Beyond the euphoria, right? And we talked to a lot of people, and the euphoria just takes control of you sometimes when you're giving interviews on camera. But the people who had those decibel levels in their voice a little bit brought down and they came back to reality, they were a little wary. They treaded closely saying that Brazil was going to win the World Cup. But, of course, Brazil is Brazil, and anything can happen. And we've seen many more surprises in football. Who's to say that the most winning team in the history of the World Cup won't win the World Cup again? Of course, they have to improve. They need to work on a lot of things. And the people who are a little bit more find their bearings in reality a little bit more are the ones that see that Brazil needs to improve. But it's a first step. World Cups, you're playing from least to greatest, and Brazil is taking a stride forward today.
Nico, first and foremost, I'm great to see you got your energy back after being with your family, having a great time, and claiming it as work. That is amazing that you've been able to do that. But in all seriousness, I want to know one thing. You had an Argentinian barbecue yesterday. I had a lot of South Americans message me saying that the Brazilians do barbecue the best. So can you answer that question for me, please?
I can't agree with that. And Troy, would you call me a cultured guy?
No.
Absolutely.
Listen, I mean, you got Marcelo Balboa right next to you, and Marcelo Balboa is very cultured. I mean, Argentine barbecue for me takes the cake. There's a lot of things that Brazilians do much better than Argentines. Trust me, I know what they do better than Argentines, but barbecue is not one of them.
Okay, interesting.
There you go.
You had any kebab out there?
Although respect for Brazilian barbecue, respect for Brazilian barbecue.
Picanha. Nico, you had any kebab?
Picanha on the swords.
Listening.
Yeah, they do really well. I love Brazilian barbecue, don't get me wrong, but not better than Argentina.
One more question. Obviously, it's a party atmosphere, as you can see behind you, with all the scenery that you've got there. When Japan scored, how quiet did it go?
Mute. You know, like the worry entered everybody, and in the bar outside there was tension in the air. You could feel that there was a catastrophe looming, and they managed to pick it back up. Second half was very quick. It was very obvious that momentum had shifted, but the tension was palpable. It's been a while, since 2002, since Brazil hasn't flipped a deficit in a knockout stage at a World Cup to go on to win, and that was against England.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
So, pretty historic.
Last question,
well done.
Nico, how many caipirinhas have you had?
Oh, Lord.
Una, duas, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, sete.
Good stuff, Nico. Cheers. We'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, lad.
Enjoy the rest of the day there.
Bye, guys. I'll send you a picture of my 8 caipirinha.
Amazing
Okay, time for a
Brazilian
short
cocktail.
break here on Golazo Match Day. 48 nations. We've got plenty more coming up for you in a couple of minutes. We'll see you then.
Children.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Golazo Match Day 48 Nations. Time now to turn our attentions to the second game of the day in Boston, Foxborough for Germany against Paraguay. Germany winning their group, but they did lose their last game, didn't they, against Ecuador. Paraguay were in the US's group, losing to the US in the first game, but they did manage to get through in that third place. So we've made our way up to the wall. Nigel, how worried are you about Germany and their chances? They won the first two games very comfortably, but then they weren't great, were they, against Ecuador?
I'm not worried about Germany because the reality of it, this is not a Germany of old. This is, for me, a German team that still I like to see an identity. I like to see something that defines this team. They've got some good players, good team on paper, but the performances just haven't been there. I wouldn't say that I look at this German side with high expectations. If you do, you're looking at the past German teams and what they've always been about. From what I've seen performance-wise, I think, like I said before, and I said it again, if they get to the quarterfinals, that's okay. But there really needs to be a big rebuild in this whole German side and everything. When you talk about the back four, talk about the goalkeeper, there needs to be a lot of changes in this German team.
They're going to respond today, guys?
Please.
See, I was trying to be nice, let the older statesmen go first. Yes, they will be, because the game will set up nicely for them. We were both at the game, wasn't we, against Ecuador. Very disappointed, not only from the play, but also the heart and the fight. I was sat in the German end, we were speaking to a lot of the German fans who were saying this is very disappointing. You can have bad games, but you can't be bullied. You can't be run over. That's what the Germans pride themselves on. Yeah. And they got that. They got outworked, and also they got outfought, which was worrying. But I think today, respectfully, the opposition are limited in what they can do. And it's going to be about, can they break them down? And we're going to get the team lineups in a minute. I'll talk to you a little bit more about that when I show you the lineups.
The first 10 or so minutes of this game is important, isn't it? When you've had a disappointing performance to end the group phase, where you've had so much confidence going into that game, you've got to make a response, haven't you, in this game?
I would think so. I mean, the first 15 minutes are usually important. They're feeling each other out. But if you can put a little bit of pressure like the U.S. did against Paraguay, then you can get to control the game. But listen, Paraguay has grown. Let's be honest. From what they did to the U.S. to beating Turkey A, to coming in, tying in Australia, and getting into the second round. So they're not going to be a walkover, but they're going to be a difficult challenge, but not what we expect, though.
I was just going to say, is it fair to say if Germany lose today, that their World Cup will be seen as disastrous?
Well, yeah,
I think that's fair to say if they lose today.
Troy, here are what we're seeing from the Germans today's starting lineup.
Yeah, the biggest change is Undav coming in as a 10 and Musiala dropping to the bench. Really disappointed in Musiala in this tournament. I thought with obviously having a difficult year with Bayern being so good and obviously a big injury, that he would obviously show us a little bit more. Havertz again through the middle. Listen, they have to figure out a way to get him. Sané's come under a lot of pressure with German fans, but again, delivered with a goal in the last game. Wirtz has been fantastic. And Mechie, for me, has been the star in terms of driving forward, loads of energy, loads of power, but hasn't really been looking to slide people in. He's been looking to get his shots off. It's been kind of one of those games when you're watching him play going, it's about me. Yeah. He needs to do a little bit more. And Brown at left-back has been fantastic. The area of weakness and concern for me is the two centre-backs. And I know that's very weird to say, but these two have got a mistake in them. Every time you watch them, you're nervous and you're ready for it. And, yeah, they've got pace and power on the bench. Expect the Germans to be very good, very German-like, very efficient, and get this job done good, because the bench for me isn't great.
I like that. Very German-like.
Very German-like. I didn't know where that was going, but it wasn't.
I'm talking about Volkswagen.
No stereotypes.
No stereotypes, yeah, but very German-like.
Hey, some of us don't make it bad. We're talking about Volkswagen Golf. It keeps going. It's a solid car. It's good.
Audis are better, but anyway. I would say Mr. Reliable for me is Kimmich. Kimmich playing at right back takes a lot away from this German
side. Got worked
side.
at the weekend.
Yes, because he's not a natural right back. Kimmich should be in that midfield area, but he's filling in at right back. I think he's way more influential as a midfielder for this German side. I would say we'll probably see a swap in that Undov and Havertz role, maybe Undov being the target man and Havertz dropping into those space. I felt Troy was very kind to Wirtz. I'm a big fan of Wirtz, but for me, he hasn't really shown a great deal of the quality and talent that he has. And Sané's getting it from the German fans because for me, still, he hasn't performed. And I've said it before, that I'm surprised he still gets to start. Brown, for me, has been a good start. You could see why top teams are after him. And then I agree, centre-back-wise, there is a mistake in those two pairing. But luckily today, they shouldn't be facing a tremendous amount of pace. But set pieces could be key.
And Cello, Nagelsmann's showing here that he can adapt as the tournament's gone on. Undav, he's got his reward and he's in the starting lineup.
He should. Listen, we talked about it earlier. This game sets up nicely for him because of the fact that you're going to see Paraguay at certain times drop into a back five. That's going to leave a little bit of room between the 4 and the 5 in the back. And if you can find that space and turn, or Havertz can turn in that space. But this sets up nicely for those front four for me. Watching them play, what the U.S. could do if they can do the similar of high pressing and then repressing them, not letting them feel comfortable. And you've got 4 guys that can do that.
And one additional thing, with both Undav and Havertz, we just saw what Brazil could do. Loads of crosses in the box. Yeah. So if they want to have that low block, now you've got the 2 fullbacks who can put balls into the box. You've got 2 strikers who want to go and head it as well.
And at times, that could even turn into a hybrid 4-4-2 with Undav making the box, and you got your front 4, you got your back 4 and the midfield 4 there, and the 2 up top.
Cello, if you're Musiala, you've had a wonderful season for Bayern. You find yourself on the bench. Despite what's happened at the World Cup so far, how do you think he's feeling?
You know, he's thinking right now that his job may be in jeopardy, especially if Undav scores a goal or 2, and all of a sudden you went from being a star. Club soccer is different than representing your national team. Sometimes this jersey weighs a little bit more than your club does. So I don't think he's been able to, and I think we were expecting him to carry this team. I think that's what everybody's looking at.
He's had a difficult season, though, because he's been coming back from the injury as well. He hasn't really hit a flow of 4 games. No, I will defend him because I don't think he's come into this as like having a great season behind him, a solid season with a lot of games. He's coming back from the injury.
Also, in that regard, then he has to sit on the bench and understand
and enjoy it.
He's fell short of the standard that people expect of him.
I would say, to be fair, he's got all right to look at Florian Wirtz as well, to feel the same way about him, because he hasn't really lit up for this German national team as people thought that he would.
This is where I think we'll fundamentally fall out on, because Wirtz, while he doesn't have the goals and assists, understands the game, dictates the game. Again, the weekend, they were poor, he was the best player. Musiala, there's times you watch the game and you go, oh, wait, he was on. Sometimes you genuinely forget he's on the pitch. So while Wirtz comes under that pressure with a heavy price tag, Musiala has to do a little bit more.
And these are the attacking options and what they've done so far at the World Cup. Couple of goals for Kai Havertz in 3 appearances. Dennis Undav, obviously, he's brilliant coming off the bench, scoring 3 goals in 3. Florian Wirtz, yet to get on the score sheet, but has done a lot in terms of that attacking intent and a goal for Leroy Sané. So this is a team.
Got a goal, but again, for me, Leroy Sané should have some more assists.
Yeah, but I guess my point, and this is building on what you said earlier. This is a team that has got so many weapons going forward and maybe is a bit weaker defensively. But if they can play to these strengths, they've got a chance against anybody, surely.
If they can, yes. But still, when you look at Germany, I mean, like I said, these two went to the game to see them. I still see a lack of real chemistry. I really do see a lack of chemistry and cohesion. That's the problem right now, because they've got the talent, but they're not playing as a collective unit, and they haven't put in a full 90 minutes performance for me, and they're vulnerable at times. I think that's what it is. They really need to play more like
That's the beauty of the World Cup, though, isn't it? You got to build. You got to build. They're building. They're building. Their last result wasn't great, but they're building. Now, this is another huge step for them. They win today, and they win 5-0. What do we say? You know, I mean, we don't judge them on one game.
Marcelo,
you don't judge them on one game.
Germany are good engineers, eh?
Here we go.
I'm just saying. The Germans are great engineers.
So his first part is he doesn't want anyone saying his stereotypes.
Exactly.
Now he finishes with the stereotype.
Nice.
That's not a stereotype. They're great engineers.
You're apparently our Paraguay correspondent.
No, that was Marcelo who's going to be Paraguay. No, I mean, listen, it's not a great athletic team. Gomez, for me, is a big bonus for them, for me, as a defender. Really watched him play a lot. Palmeiras in Brasilia. Really good leader, good captain. But again, we talk about Almiron coming back in again. He's not the same pace, doesn't have the same energy that he normally had before. Yeah. It's going to be a hard team. They're going to be tough to beat. They're going to be defensively organised. But again, there's a lack of real dynamism and explosiveness to really cause top teams a problem.
Palmeiras is in Sao Paulo, by the way.
Palmeiras.
Apart from that, you were great. Cello, what do you think? You watched them closely against the US, of course.
Yeah, listen, they've been growing. You've got to give them credit. But in Cecil right there, you know he's going to be floating around, getting a little more. He's a dangerous player. Almiron still has it in him. He just hasn't really found it yet. So Avalos up top, decent player, good off with his back towards goal. When you've got Kubas, who's a Vancouver Whitecap, he's going to, I have a funny feeling he's going to slip more into a 6 role. That it looks like he's a 10 there. He's not going to play as a 10. He's going to drop in. They're going to play basically a 4-5-1 to defend, to try to get him out of there. Cáceres down the outside, gets up and down the wing. So listen, Gil in goal is a good goalkeeper. So this is a solid team that's been growing. It's a challenge today. It's going to be a big challenge for them, because it's almost the kind of pressure they're going to face like the U.S. gave them. But they've shown that they can bend, but they haven't broke 100% yet.
But the only thing that I would say, taking it back to the U.S. game, this is the area that they struggle with. Yeah. So expect the Germans to be running into these areas, because you want to drag the 2 centre-backs out. And that's why, for me, I think Alderete has dropped the kid from Sunderland, because they did play with a 5 in the last game, and he gets dragged out because he wants to go and man mark. But if the Germans can exploit these gaps, then they're going to be in real trouble, because to Nigel's point, there's not a lot of athleticism and dynamism in that team altogether.
Nigel, you were a captain, a leader when you played. How impressed are you with the response from this team, given the way they performed in the first game? They were awful again. I mean, US played well, but it was embarrassing, wasn't it, to lose in that manner, the way they've improved since then?
Yeah, it's a collective effort. That's what it is. Again, and in some nations that you play for, you don't have to go to social media or what it is. You know what it is to represent that nation. You know the passion of the fans and the nation when it comes to the game of football. So together, they got together, and Gomez is probably one of the main characters or senior leaders in this team that will probably have galvanised the team to say, like, we've got to improve. That's just the reality of it. We've got to do better than what we did. Otherwise, you know, you could end up like Uruguay, where your football federation says you're on your own.
It's a long flight back, especially when you're paying for it.
Luckily they weren't on a boat or walking back.
Exactly. So that just goes to show that in some nations, in some of these regions, how passionate they are about football. And it's not just a sport, it's a way of life. You know, it's something that the whole nation comes together on, especially when you talk about football.
OK, time for a short break here on Golazo Match Day 48 Nations. We've got plenty more coming up for you next as we continue our build-up to this game. Mackenzie's popping in to give us all of the betting angle as we look forward to Germany against Paraguay in Boston.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down. The grand prize, $1 billion. Win this game. Change your family's life forever. Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And we live the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gotta blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Golazo Matchday 48 Nations. Beautiful skyscape of Boston there. We're getting ready for the game at Foxborough. Germany against Paraguay.
Skyscape?
Next.
Wait, skyscape what?
What? Landscape.
Oh, you said landscape. Or skyscrapers.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm just Mackenzie, save me here. Mackenzie Brooks has joined us to give us the betting angle. Look, he's been waiting for this.
All he does is wait for us to screw up all day.
All day.
Skyscape, yeah.
You know what I meant. You know what I meant. We're talking about betting, aren't we? How are we getting on?
All right, we have two bets, kind of correlated. Obviously, we need to find unique ways to back Germany here. I mean, if you're interested in that. Before we get into that, we're looking at the standings
hang on a
of this
minute. You should not be laughing at me. Look at the state of this.
Hey, as I keep highlighting, and I will defend my boy.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mackenzie.
3, 4, 6. Look how much he works.
Exactly.
He's got a family at home, you know, guys. That's why he's trying to get out. He's got 5 more bets.
He's working hard to lose it. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Sorry.
3 bets and winning. You know, it's not fair right now.
Yeah.
Some of us are here multiple days a week.
We're in the presence of a legend.
Yeah, I guess so.
As you guys know, combined are 2 experts. They've lost $1 between them.
My job is to stay above 500.
Yeah.
I can do that.
That's why you're here and Buckets is at home watching. Get above 500, we'll let you in, Buckets.
Yeah. That's the threshold. All right, 2 bets for today. We have a parlay. What I'm taking, and I know Nigel is just going to back me here because he trusts me so much.
Yes, I do.
And do you know what happens when he backs you? You both lose. I'm calling it now.
We're rising together in the ranks.
Okay.
All right, the first bet is going to be a parlay, as I just mentioned. We're going to go with Germany over 4.5 corners, and we're parlaying it with their shots on target. So I'm taking a very realistic angle for both of these and putting them together to get around even money. As far as the corners, just looking into the game script, a lot of low block we'll see from Paraguay. This is an opportunity to just win corner after corner after corner. This is a number they've cleared in multiple of their matches here. And same with the shots on target. They're averaging around 7 shots on target through this tournament. This is a winner-go-home situation. I would like to think that they will play aggressively down to the 90th minute here and beyond. And then the other bet, we're just going to go with Germany minus the 1.5. Cover the spread, so they have to win by 2 goals. Again, this isn't always a reasonable price, but the fact that We're done with the wonky group stage games. Everyone's playing for something. There's no garbage time anymore. So I don't think they'll take any chances here. Hopefully they can score early and we can get them to win by 2.
I'm just going to say, is that a combined bet of +5?
What do you mean plus?
Because it was -105.
No, those are two different bets.
Now it's +100, so.
That's a different bet. Germany -1.5, separate from the parlay.
Okay.
That's just even money. The fact that you can get this at even money,
Good.
Yeah, I don't bet on spreads much, honestly, throughout the World Cup thus far. But now that we're getting into winner go home mentality, I feel like we'll get a little more insurance and a little more 110% from these teams throughout the full batch.
Okay, nice. Troy, what have you gone for?
I absolutely can't remember, so I'm hoping that they throw it up. No, I think I went 8 and 8. There we go. Germany win with over. I wanted to go Germany win. I was told I can't do that. It's a bit too adventurous. So I've gone for over 7.5 corners plus 7 shots on target.
So you just took what I did, but a more risky way.
Yeah, made it better.
Maybe.
Yeah. That's what I did. But listen,
we could all
I am swinging for the fences. That's what I'm doing. A little 260 would go down nicely.
Maybe
Try and
Nigel
catch the
should be
fella.
following you so he can catch up too.
No, he wants to just stay in the race. At a minute, he's hanging on the edge of the
I'm
cliff.
just happy. I don't know what I'm doing.
We'll get to his in a second.
I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm up there. I hit one time.
Yeah.
I hit Van Dijk scoring. That was it.
That's all you need
I
sometimes.
hit it. Mine, I don't even remember what mine is.
There you go. See, it's not just me.
It's like 7. There it is. 5.5.
Okay.
Germany over 5.5 corners.
And 7
over
shots
7
on target.
shots on target.
All right, so we're all looking for corners and shots on target here.
Considering they were the only
Not
two
bad,
options
right?
to bet on, then yeah, I think we all are. Yeah, I agree.
That's a rookie bet. That's a safe bet, right?
That's
a safe
mine's
bet.
even safer. It's a little riskier than mine. I respect that.
All
I mean, the corners are all very obtainable. I think for this, I mean, you guys tell me, you're the experts, but this specific game script.
I don't know.
Well,
you saw the list?
Let's talk to the real experts.
Here we go.
No, go on then.
Turkey 8 took 30 shots.
I copied the real
Germany
experts. I
should.
told you, mine's the same as Mackenzie's. Copied her bet.
It makes me more nervous when
It's
someone I
actually-
know is putting their money right next
It's
to me.
actually embarrassing.
Why?
Because what the audience don't know is Nigel, what bet do you want? And we all know Nigel loves to talk. We all know that. And he went, just put down what Mackenzie put. No, what do you think? Whatever Mackenzie thinks, she's the only one who wins.
I'm going to take that to the grave.
Yeah.
I'll remember that quote.
No lie told there, so yeah.
What I will say, I'm just putting money on every single both teams to score bet for every single game in the round of 32. I just feel like it's something that slowly will start cashing more. Even Qatar, although it was a round of 16, the point being the first round of knockout stages, those were cashing day in and day out.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking we'll get a similar approach here and hoping to come out, profitable in that. That's my personal journey, if anyone was wondering.
Did you guys expect it to be as high scoring in the knockout stage? When you looked at the round of 32,
I think because we've got so many third-place teams now that respectfully are not to the level, because obviously the competition's opened up. I expect up until this round and potentially next round, more goals, and then from quarters, semi-finals, gets a little bit tighter, a little bit more tactical, because the end's just in reach.
Right.
Cello, we saw, didn't we, at the last World Cup, particularly the final, teams willing to open up later on, and that was one of the best finals we've ever seen in World Cup history. Do you think we may see that continuing, that's maybe the new way of winning a World Cup, is being a bit more aggressive, trying to take it to the other team?
I don't think so. I think it's because Mbappe and Messi, they both are trying to outdo each other. You score, I score. You score, I score. We get the penalties. So I don't see, that in one of the best finals. I remember sitting at a bar. I call mom and dad, they're in tears crying, but I don't know if they're in tears crying because of the heart attack of going so back and forth. But I don't see another final like that. I really don't. Even if it was Argentina and France, I don't see that kind of final again.
Boring.
I know. Listen, no one would have bet there would have been that, would it? Would you guys have bet that many goals?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
This is one of the higher scoring World Cups, though, in history.
More teams.
More teams.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they account for that when they say
Well, we've had a comment there from, is it Dark Teta?
Dark Teta, who, by the way, we thought was Nigel for a good 2 weeks.
What?
I'm just saying, he started to message a lot when you was off work.
Not with a bet like this. This one makes sense.
This one 100% clears it up. That this is not Nigel, because they either putting some money out of their pocket.
Plus 425 would take you to the top of our leaderboard with $10. That I can confirm.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, thanks very much, Mackenzie. We'll have to wait and see how those bets get on. Good luck to Nigel as we enjoy this game between Germany and Paraguay. There's the skyscape of Boston as we look at this game at Gillette Stadium. Germany against Paraguay coming up at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. We've got plenty more for you next.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. With the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Golazo Matchday 48 Nations. Let's just step away from the World Cup for a second, bring you the least surprising news of this century. Enzo Maresca has finally been announced as the new Manchester City manager to replace Pep Guardiola. Welcome back, Enzo, announced there on the official club X profile. As we know, very difficult to follow a big manager like Pep. We saw it in the past with David Moyes after Fergie, Unai Emery after Wenger at Arsenal. How is Maresca going to follow up from the great Pep Guardiola?
He's going to find it very, very difficult because even if he was to win the league and the FA Cup next year, it's not the treble. It's just that difficult when you're coming up against somebody who's not only been iconic and reshaped Man City, but reshaped football for the last 20 years. You see from grassroots, hand-on play, goalkeepers trying to play out from the back, false nines, all this has come from Pep Guardiola. So I think he'll do well because he's been there and he knows it. He's worked under it. We saw him and Arteta both work under Pep, so they know a little bit of structure. They'll come in with a little bit of good grace from the players as well because they'll know what they're getting. But I think it's very, very difficult, Adam. I really do, to see him go in and not only be a success, but to have that level of success for that amount of time will be really, really hard.
It's going to be difficult, like you stated, following a big manager like Pep Guardiola. And it's not just what he achieved on the football pitch, trophy-wise, and how he transformed the English game with what he did at Manchester City. 4 Premier League titles back-to-back. It's never been done before in English football. But he's at an advantage because he's been there before. What's funny?
Football what?
What?
Football pitch.
Anyway. like I was going to say,
We know what he meant.
You know what I meant. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for him, but he has an advantage because he has been at City before, so he understands the club, he understands the players, and what it means to be at Manchester City. Not an easy job to take, but it's also one of those ones where it's not an opportunity that you're going to turn away from and walk away from. Really is probably going to be the making of him. We know what he did at Chelsea. Obviously, won the Club World Cup and the project that was there that he never got to fulfill. Manchester City is a different animal now. There's been a new appetite for success, a new expectation. That's the word.
Demand almost from the City
I'm looking there that Manchester City fans now have. So now it's about living up to that expectation and demand that the club has built.
I don't know. I think good signing, sure, but I think it all depends on how he goes in. Is he going to change everything? Is he trying? We've seen coaches come in and change everything and failed at Manchester United. And look at Manchester United now at this point. They're still trying to recover of what Moyes did and everybody else down the list has done. So my concern would be more of, is he going to come in and try to change everything and make it all about my club, my this, my that? And all of a sudden now the players start turning away. So I think the easy transition is allowing players to do their things, have the players let them do and play, and little by little you just start implementing what you want, because the success they've had, I don't think we've seen that in a while. I don't know if we will see that in a long time.
No, but I was just, as you were saying that, a light bulb went up. Or you could do what Arne Slot did and do nothing and then get sacked the year after.
Yeah.
So either way, it's a very difficult poison challenge for him, isn't it?
The problem, what Marcelo says, which is a great point as well, is the fact of sometimes you've got managers with individual personalities and characters. We know everything's going to be about Pep. Everything he does is going to be compared back to Pep Guardiola. Well, Pep did this, Pep did that. From the club and also from the fans, it's always going to be Pep, and people in the media you have to deal with. Is he going to go in there to try and force us? All right, this isn't about Pep. This is me. This is what I do.
That's a good point. It's a good point. Does he be his own man, or does he try and be Pep-like?
He can't be Pep.
But even when he was at Chelsea and when he was at Leicester, he was considered Pep-like.
Yeah.
So his style is always attributed to what Pep Guardiola is. I think there's so many nuanced questions with this.
Well, one of the other nuances is the Chelsea angle. The slightly weird thing that happened today is you get the City announcement. We were all waiting for that. We knew it was going to happen. And then you get this statement that comes out from Chelsea that they didn't really need to do. We can have a quick look at an extract from it here. In December 2025, a head coach unexpectedly and abruptly resigned from his position. Obviously, we felt let down as we believed that his head and heart were focused on another club and another opportunity, despite having just arrived at Chelsea the year before. However, in light of his decision not to continue fulfilling his responsibilities through to the end of the season, the club was left with no choice but to protect our players, our supporters and the badge, and accept his resignation. And they went on to say, in the circumstances and given the mutual respect between the clubs, a confidential settlement has been reached with Manchester City, which includes the payment of compensation. A confidential settlement has also been reached with the former head coach, under which he will pay compensation. Cello, tell us how you really feel, Chelsea. I mean, that was, you could sense the frustration. And I make the point, they didn't have to say anything.
Yeah. No, listen, I think that I'm a firm believer when you sign a contract, you fulfill that contract, okay? But when you have an opportunity to coach Man City, how do you, or a Manchester United, some of the bigger clubs in England, how do you pass that up? So, listen, I get it. It's in his heart. He has that in his heart that he wanted to be at Man City. So, as long as they can come to an agreement, everybody's happy. But again, I'm more of when you have a contract, you fulfill that contract and you hope that opportunity comes up down the road.
Yeah, I think to that point, I think what Chelsea are doing, this is split into two, right? So Maresca's clearly heard the news, doesn't want to let that opportunity pass, to Cello's point, and he's going, right, I want to get there. Made it very clear he wants to get there. That part of it, I kind of understand. That should be kept behind closed doors. Think back to the press conferences. Think back to the way he started conducting himself in and around that time when he was saying he wasn't getting what he wanted, we're not being ambitious. He started doing things.
What did he say? It was the most difficult 24 hours he's had in football, but then he didn't say why.
Exactly. Yeah. Now we know why. And then on the other side to it, Chelsea, respectfully, have turned into a PR club. It's what they do now. So they've come under pressure for the lack of investment, how they didn't have a succession plan, even though it was Liam Rosenior coming in, they never gave him the tools or an opportunity or a platform to do what they needed to do. The squad hasn't been good enough. So now you go out and get a manager who appeases the fans Again, forget what my opinion is on him. I think the fans are happy with that. Now it's a situation to go, hey, real quick, it was his fault, not ours. That's just real quick what they've done. And you, again, it's not just Chelsea now. Just look at Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer's puts out an interview the day after the Ghana game because people are saying, oh, Cole Palmer could have been needed. Didn't see him after Croatia. Haven't saw him after we're winning. But at the moment when people are questioning, it's just a game of PR now that everyone does. So for me, I think Chelsea need to, like, personally stop talking and worry about what next season looks like. Still a lack. All the questions we said last season still haven't been addressed to this date. No left winger still. No one you could go, that's the person. Other than João Pedro, who's your main striker? Midfield, who's the experience? Centre halves, the goalkeeper. And now you're going, oh, by the way, it wasn't our fault. It was him. Like, Chelsea, get back in your box and worry about all the things you've got to worry about.
Without repeating too much what Troy said, he's right.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I was going to say this.
And also, the other point, sorry, Nigel, this didn't happen a week ago. This was, what was it, in January? This happened. It was ages ago. Why are they going back to that now?
Because now they've been paid.
That's
at the root cause, all the legalities done and I've been paid, so I can speak.
The biggest thing is it's a deflection. It's not us, it's him. And what it is it's him, and it's also a assassination on his character. We brought him to Chelsea. We said the plan of Chelsea. He's been a year. He doesn't want to see out his contract. He was flirting the idea of going to another club while he was Chelsea manager, which shows he wasn't committed to the cause of Chelsea Football Club. And this is what happens. I think more it's an assassination of character on Enzo Maresca and the type of person and manager he is and how he handled his time and situation at Chelsea Football Club. And now they can come off this and say it wasn't us. It was a manager who didn't want to be at the football club and didn't want to manage the club. And now he's gone that way. And for us and the badge and the club, like Troy says, the whole PR spin, that he shouldn't be here. We don't want him to be here.
And then just to this here as well, there's one thing that's been left off there, which I thought was actually his most impressive, considering where they are now. Winning the league with Leicester.
Yeah.
And obviously getting Leicester back into the Premier League. And you look, in the 2 years since he's gone,
League One now,
they're in League One now. So you see, like, again, yes, being at City with the under-21s, being the assistant, being at Chelsea and winning things, but also he consistently wins. And you know, to the assassination of his character, I think it's a ballsy move from him to follow after Pep. That's one of the hardest jobs ever to take. But the self-confidence and the little time away that he's had, I bet he's thinking, right, I'll take that on. And if he's going to get to work with the players he's going to get to work with, the likes of Shirky, the likes of Erling Haaland, you know, you name it. This is a very young team, and people haven't been speaking about just how young this Man City team is. People give Arsenal credit for having young top players signed up. Man City have got a very talented young team that can be ready to, yes, they need to add, but it can be ready to compete on not only this year, next year, but for the next 5 years. So he's got a very, very good job, but it's very, very difficult.
I'm surprised you said that. I mean, we've seen enough of Enzo Maresca to know that he's not a manager that's lacking confidence or a man that's lacking confidence in his own ability to himself.
But unless a person would have went, let somebody else go in and I'll come in after.
No,
that's
but I think for me, with him, I never, ever doubted him to be that type of character, to not want to take on a challenge like this, like I said. So, again, for me, it's poor by Chelsea in the handling of it. He's gone, he's left. But again, they've wanted to basically clean it up to say that it wasn't us who were running the club. It's him, didn't want to be here. So let's assassinate his character, even though he's gone. Bit of sour grapes from Chelsea, really and truly.
Let's,
have you seen that before?
I would say, how long until we have to mention Chelsea again for getting it wrong? Hey? Liam Rosini's fault.
We'll have to wait and see how Enzo Maresca gets on, but he has officially been announced as the new Manchester City manager. Time for a short break. We've got plenty more coming up for you here on Golazo Network in a couple of minutes.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year